gonna help? You gonna help? Camera's over there. Nope. Not the camera. What's up, YouTube and Facebook? Blue Dooley in the garage with CXT, Grand Hauler, and the wife's HPI Venture, which has a power wagon body on it. I don't have a lot of work to show progress on any of them, but I thought I'd give a little update, especially on the Workbench, and kind of go over what's left to do on each of these trucks, especially before these two are ready for paint, and this one's ready to be the paint cleaned up on it a little bit. I got the camera in kind of a neat position. I got one of those 3-leg bendy tripods. So 2 of the legs are sitting on the Workbench, and the third one's kind of hooked around the railing for the couple of steps, and actually it looks like it's holding pretty good. We'll get you a little closer to the trucks and go over each one, especially the power wagon on the Venture. So if you want to put this particular body on the truck, it can point out some of the little things you got to do so it'll be sure to fit this truck. So let's get to it, and I'll show you what I did to the Workbench, because I cleaned it up after the accident from the last video and got it bolted to the wall. So now it's not going to go anywhere, which is awesome. Alright, CXT first. Glue's all hard. I got a little couple of pieces of tape that got glued to the body I need to clean up, and then some little bit thicker glue. It's almost filled this entire crack in, but I'm not sure if they can see the little bit of spider webbing in the paint right here, and of course right here it's cracked a little, but that all just needs a little sanding and a little prep, and that'll be ready for paint. This bigger chunk here, I still need to, there's actually a little bit more work to do there. I need to get that panel lined up a little bit. I found all the pieces for the window, so I'll get it glued tonight or sometime this week. The chassis is pretty much done. The bumper just needs secured to the frame, then put the body on, do final fitment and adjustment, then Loctite everything, paint the frame and the bumper, and then that truck is ready to roll. It will only be rolling on one motor and ESC for right now, but that's alright. The Grand Hauler is coming along real nicely. I've got a lot of detail stuff done. What's left to do on this truck, if we can get it here, white putty on white body. I puttied around the kind of sunroof. I don't know why they didn't just make it one piece, but I just need to smooth out the putty on top of the cab, and then of course I need to smooth out that little rough stuff from the putty from filling in those holes. I got the back plate panel here. I got the 2 holes drilled in it for my LED lights that are going to be in the back of the cab. The air cleaners, fuel tanks, steps, and stacks and all that stuff are ready to go. I did a little detail work to them, which you'll just have to wait until that's done. But the Tamiya kits do go together really nice. The truck has a lot of detail. I still got a little detail painting to do on some of the really tiny parts. And then as soon as I sand this out, this will be ready for paint. I got a little paint booth with the CXT's chassis in it, but I can't show it to you because that'll give away what color the Grand Hauler is going to be painted. And I'm just going to be kind of an ass about it and not let anybody know what color it's going to be until it's ready to go. Alright, the power wagon. I love this body. I put it on the wife's HPI Venture. The local hobby store had one, and I wasn't 100% sure if the wheelbase was right. So when we went out to get some dinner one night, I grabbed the chassis, and we went to the hobby store to make sure it fit, and then she had to pick out a color, but she went with a chameleon paint. Should look really sharp. I should note, to get it to fit on the Venture, the rear bumper you have to completely pull out. The body's just too long, and I don't know if it has a long enough post to kind of tuck the bumper even with the end of the body. I haven't tried yet. And then the front bumper, all I had to do was move it out a few notches and it clears. My only real concern, if I can focus, there we go, the shocks on the front, because the hood is kind of narrow, the shocks I might move back into a different hole so they lean them back just a little bit. That way the body has a little more clearance between them. I mean, there is a little clearance right now, but that way maybe I can drop the front end a little bit lower. The only other thing hanging that up is there isn't a lot of room between the bumper mounts and the body. So if you trimmed in there a little more, you could probably get it a little closer. But yeah, I'm going to move that shock to that other hole to give the body a little more clearance, just so the shock doesn't rub into it in case the truck does take a tumble. The only major thing is right here where the cab and the bed meet. Is the battery is really kind of close, so I made it an ugly notch to clear the battery strap. And then the shock tower here, right here, the bed sits right on top of it here, so you can only drop it so far, which is a little disappointing, but again, it's meant for a different truck. If the bed, well, yeah, even the notch for that isn't wide enough for that shock tower. The only real modification I had to make to get the body to fit was I trimmed off right here for the body post on both sides. This little part's just narrow enough that if you don't trim these, you'll rub funny. And then I had to shorten them up a bit to get the bed as low as I could. Other than that, it will fit pretty much right out of the box. Like I said, you just got to do a little trimming and remove the rear bumper. I was hoping, because the rock rails are still under there, I was hoping to get the body down low enough that these kind of tucked up in the running boards a little bit and wouldn't be seen. Just to I left them in there to protect the body. Like I said, I think if I move the shocks back a little bit, I can bring the front end a little lower. Articulation wise, I mean, you can full lock stuff these, have plenty of room to even run a little bit bigger tire, which actually, I don't know if we're not going to go up too huge in tire. We might get her some nicer tires. So the only thing left to do to get this painted is I need to drill the couple of holes in here that hold the two panels together, then take it apart, paint it. Well, I got to mask a lot of it too. I found my paint bends so I can give her the wood looking deck. There is plenty of room in the bed if you want to run the truck stock spare up here in the bed. Yeah, I just really dig this body. The bumper hoops don't quite line up, but you can take this part off and it'll look good, I think. So that's the wife's HPI Power Wagon. Well, Venture with the Power Wagon body. Alright, for workbench work, the in-laws got me this magnetic tool strip. I finally got it mounted to the wall, and then I put a couple of screws in the wall to hold the hacksaw and the other saw, which name escapes me at the moment. I moved my little toolbox over here to the edge. Gives me a lot more room on the bench to have it over at one end than sitting in the middle. Various parts and stuff that just don't fit in it. I still need to clean it up a bit. I got all the screws and hardware put away, but the plastic pieces I still need to get sorted through and figured out. Then I put 3 screws into studs. Well, 2 into studs and 1's in a drywall hanger because the stud finder said there was a stud where there wasn't. This middle one here. It says there's a stud there, but no, there isn't. So it's got a big sheetrock anchor in it. And then this other one is drilled into the stud, and I can give it a pretty good tug. And it's not going anywhere. So I got all my Dremel bits, a couple screwdrivers, wrench, the drill bits that I've been using on the CXT project are all handy, and then a mess of Allen wrenches along with my little hobby clamps. The other end, still a mess. The vise I only have ever clamped to the workbench. That way I can, move it out of the way if I need to, or reposition it. The power strip is stuck to that metal back plate with automotive grade double-sided tape. There's only, for some reason, only one plug outlet right there. I think for a water softener, maybe. But the air compressor and all the drills and stuff are plugged into the power strip. The legs for the workbench are all readjusted. Yeah. Move this around. So that's what I've done to the workbench and where I'm standing on the 3 project vehicles right now at the moment. The Wheelie King's good to go. I know James needs to, I forget what he needs to fix on either one of his trucks, but then he'll be good to go. Throw some paint on the wife's truck, she'll be good to go. So hopefully here, maybe not next weekend, but the weekend after, we'll get out and do some RCing. The next time you see the Grand Hauler, it will be done, put together, painted, and we'll do that reveal video. I'm not sure if I'll have another update on the CXT before we run that truck out. So stay tuned. I got to clean up a little more. Hit like and subscribe, and I hope everyone had a good weekend.